Welcome to a Harsh Reality broadcast on the 27th of October 2013. The title of this presentation is called "We Are as Free as the Elite Want Us to Be." If the population is basically satisfied with their lot, the elite can afford to give us a certain amount of freedom. The elite are quite happy for the masses to be dumbed down. They will be less likely to question what is going on. And let's be honest, we have been dumbed down. The mainstream media reflects this with the so-called reality programs. We actually worship poor celebrity role models. We lack critical thinking. Unfortunately, there is a major flaw with the current economic model, and unfortunately the majority of the population do not understand this. In a nutshell, we have lived beyond our means and simply over-leveraged big time. Prior to 1971 in the US, the dollar was linked to the gold standard. There was a sensible fractional reserve ratio of 1 to 9. In other words, there was 1 unit of gold in the vault supporting 9 units of currency loaned out. Yes, there were boom and busts, but they were manageable. Now we have had ingenious ways to over-leverage: the introduction of subprime lending, credit cards and derivatives. Only recently, JP Morgan has been fined $5.1 billion for misleading investors. That's all part of the subprime lending. It's disgraceful, but no one's gone to jail because they're all hand in hand. We can't seem to change this corruption. However, all this over-leveraging is going to be horrific. We are given the illusion that we can vote in change, but change never really happens. That's why the population have become apathetic. As long as our standard of living does not fall too much, being apathetic does not present a problem for the population. Russell Brand did an interview on Newsnight in the UK and sums up the reality of our economic and political system. This guy is talking a lot of sense, and I really do hope this interview goes viral. I just want to show you a few clips from it.
But is it true you don't even vote?
Yeah, no, I don't vote.
Well, how do you have any authority to talk about politics then?
Well, I don't get my authority from this pre-existing paradigm, which is quite narrow and only serves a few people. I look elsewhere for alternatives that might be of service to humanity.
And what I want to do now is show you the next clip.
But I say, but here's the thing it shouldn't do: shouldn't destroy the planet, shouldn't create massive economic disparity, shouldn't ignore the needs of the people. The burden of proof is on the people with the power, not people like doing a magazine.
How do you imagine the people get power?
Well, I imagine there are sort of hierarchical systems that have been preserved through generations.
Get power by being voted in.
Well, you
That's
say
how
that,
they
Jeremy,
get it.
but
You
like
can't even be asked to vote.
It's quite a narrow prescriptive parameter that changes within the
In a democracy, that's how it works.
Well, I don't think it's working very well, Jeremy, given that the planet is being destroyed, given that there is economic disparity of a huge degree. What you're saying, there's no alternative. There's no alternative.
No, I'm not
just this
saying
system.
that. I'm saying if you
Brilliant.
can't be asked to vote, why should we be asked to listen to your political point of view?
You don't have to listen to my political point of view, but it's not that I'm not voting out of apathy. I'm not voting out of absolute indifference and weariness and exhaustion from the lies, treachery, deceit of the political class that has been going on for generations now, and which has now reached fever pitch, where we have a disenfranchised, disillusioned, despondent underclass that are not being represented by that political system. So voting for it is tacit complicity with that system, and that's not something I'm offering up.
Well, that makes a lot of sense to me. I just want to know what your views are on that interview. Anyway, the elite cannot stop the economic collapse ahead. It will happen. The elite have made plans to deal with the civil unrest. The National Defence Authorisation Act will be one of them. There is going to be massive unrest when the collapse happens, and my big worry is that included in the plans will be the erosion of our freedoms. If we think we have got it bad now, we have not seen nothing yet. Trust me. Now, at the moment, people like me are able to broadcast on YouTube. We are a minority, but if we start to become the majority, do you really think these sorts of broadcasts can go ahead? Do you think the elites will allow it? I suspect there'll be some form of censorship, and they will use, in inverted commas, emergency measures. I want to leave you with a couple of quotes from Thomas Jefferson. I'm going to leave the camera rolling now for about another 30 seconds or so you can actually see these two very, very important quotes.